What's up, everybody? I'm Roth, and we are here for this week's weekly roundup. And I am joined by my guest, my boss, Steven.
Hello, everybody.
And let's go ahead and jump right into it, I guess. We've got the Star Citizen live stream event where they sold $250,000 worth of imaginary spaceships.
Yeah, if you're math challenged, that means that each one of them sold for $1,250. $1,250 for a ship for a game that does not exist. I am really happy that this game has this much momentum. I really hope that they can deliver on that much hype at this point. But they definitely have a dedicated fan base with some deep pocketbooks. So
Right.
more power to them.
There was a little bit of controversy involved with this because they did it during waking hours for us here in the U.S., so everybody in time zones where they would be asleep for that time are pissed off because they didn't get the opportunity at the ships. So I think they will be taking some action to alleviate that problem.
I'm sure once you make $250,000 off some spaceships, that you might try to do that again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, do it for a different time zone. All right, moving on. More space battles. We've got when janitors go bad because Matt Westrope is so good at his language. CCP accidentally pulled the plug on the servers during an epic space battle.
So after a decade of supporting fleet combat and building entire systems to reinforce this, as far as I know, this is one of the first times I've ever heard of them pulling the plug accidentally. I know they've stopped some things because of impact to the systems and things like that in the past, but clearly a mistake here. What did they say? They said that instead of moving off all the other systems away from the node, they moved them all. So,
Misclick.
Oops.
All right, moving on. We've got the announcement that Final Fantasy VII is now available on Steam, and people are very excited. I, for one, don't really care. I've played it. It's great. But what they need to do is completely redesign the game's graphics and not touch a thing of the mechanics. That's what I want.
Well, the question really is, how did Square Enix pass up another opportunity to sell this game at the original full price of like $50 or $60 while releasing it again?
Yeah.
This game's been released on every single platform known to man. I'm surprised you can't play it on a Casio freaking calculator. And every time, it's another fee.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, I think I owned it on 7 of those things and probably own it on a Casio calculator. So, more power to them. Again.
They've got an epic following. They can't help but sell on everything. All right, so we've got Titus Lives gives us an interview with the creator of The Howler, and I find one of my favorite quotes here is he says that making games is much more fun than playing it. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, you can go read that full article. He's got all kinds of questions going on.
Cool. So this game, if you don't know about it, is a game you play with your voice, which leads to some very humorous observational. If you like to watch people play, this is one to watch.
Yes.
So check it out.
So Don Matrick, is that how you say his name? Don Matrick?
I think it's Don Matrick.
Something like that. Leaves Microsoft.
Don Matrick.
And he's going to Zynga, so maybe he'll go make that place fail too. No offense.
Oh. So we don't really know his reason for moving. We assume that it was opportunity. He may have also been shown the door. Regardless, if he was responsible for the PR disaster, then time to move on. And Zynga needs some help. So
yeah, maybe he can show his worth by turning around Zynga. If he can do that, he's epic.
If he can do that, he's epic. Yeah. I mean, certainly probably not the most smooth breakup, but at the same time, these types of things probably weren't done overnight. So it seems like it's probably something that's at least been in the works for a little while, even if recent events sort of pushed it along
quicker. Yeah. Thanks to the Fizz for giving us that article. So Matt, again, Another executive moves companies. The Electronic Arts executive Sean Decker left EA and is moving to be the senior vice president for CCP Games.
So this has led to a cacophony of oh no's from the EVE Online fan base who's going, EA in our game.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the concern is legitimate. I also think that EA is an organization, not an individual, and CCP, they're an Icelandic company. They've got a very strong corporate culture, that's maintained by Vikings.
Yeah, so I couldn't see him coming in and really making that kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to come in and be able to, just make all these sweeping changes without there being any insulation to the things that are contrary to CCP's, culture. We'll see.
Well, I guess let's not dive into that whole EA monster. So esports, we've got an interview that John. God, what is with these names? I can't pronounce. Is that God? He's very popular. I don't want to say his name.
John Gaudiosi.
Gaudiosi. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe you could prepare a little bit more for this.
Yeah, maybe.
You could look at the people's names, learn to pronounce them, and then come to the show.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
I can teach you how to draw that stuff where it tells you how to pronounce the letters. Put little hats over them and bars.
Okay. Making me feel dumb here. All right, so he got an interview with a pro league gamer, Edward. He came from the Russian team Gambit, and has moved to the LCS, the U.S. team. Where is his name? Moved to Team Curse. He moved to Team Curse in MLG, and he got an interview with him talking about how that went, and then what it takes to be a pro gamer, and many other things. This is a great video to watch as well. It's the Team Curse manager talking about. Yeah, gaming house. Let's do it. It's expensive, but
it doesn't have to be.
Make up live on ramen.
Let's have a gaming shanty.
Gaming shanty, yes.
We'll put it on the beach. We can have a gaming shanty on the beach. So then the house is expensive, but at least the environment makes it appear so.
So esports for hippies.
It'd be like, yeah, like a gaming cabana.
Gaming cabana.
And then we'll all eat, ramen and
go fishing and cooking a little fire pit on the beach.
I'm sure we can get some soy or something.
So moving on to yet another article by John, talking more about esports, talking about Day 9, Sean Plott, who is a StarCraft 2 pro gamer who now is a very well-known caster. I'm sure you already knew that. And talks about that.
League of Legends casting is pretty fun. It's fun to listen to.
Yeah, it is fun to listen to. That's what I like to do.
Esports taking off.
He actually mentions that in an interview with Gamer Hub, that people have gotten to the point where they're not even playing the games anymore. They're just watching the StarCraft 2 and League of Legends tournaments rather than play the game. And I'm one of those. Yeah, I've played some League of Legends, but I thoroughly enjoy watching the Major League tournaments.
Well, I mean, if it's really a sport, then how much do you play football? But
right, exactly. I've never actually played legitimate football. I mean, I've played it, with some random people, but I've never played an actual league. All right, so a topic hitting home for me, a long-standing MMO player, Grinding and Farming 101. It's a great commentary by our buddy Tiger WDR in his show Mud to MMO, talking about the awful things about grinding and farming and that culture.
A cool pair of shoes would be a major upgrade from many of the things I've farmed. Like what? Embers or whatever they were, and WoW.
He talks about that whole
TBC. Like you had to get like the 100 embers.
The Burning Crusade was really heavy with farming out mats that you would turn into NPCs to get you reputation with whatever said.
Oh.
And to get the only dragons you could get
virtually
to
useless
fly.
item to get another virtually useless item to get
Right.
another virtually useless item
Right.
to get a virtually useless key to a place that may be interesting.
Right. A very long path of just things to do to keep you playing.
So, what's the worst grind you've ever been on?
Worst grind I've ever... Oh, well, back in vanilla, grinding up 800 gold to get your epic mount. That was ridiculous.
Oh.
The economy, and you'd rarely see an item on the auction house for more than a gold. That means you had to go out there and farm something at least 800 times and sell it on auction house
I
and
just
be
bought it.
lucky. What do you mean you just... But
I
you
just bought the gold.
You like Chinese farmer gold?
Heck yeah.
See, I didn't do that until... I can't believe I'm saying this. Never mind. Blizzard, I didn't buy gold. I didn't do it. I
Yes,
swear.
you did.
No.
Everyone did.
No. Don't hurt me.
People don't realize that being able to buy gold is what makes these games successful.
Well, it crushes the gaming economy. That's why they ban
Prove it.
people over it. They've banned people.
Every successful game has had a huge influx of cash.
Yeah.
It's like the Konami code of MMOs. It's the thing that actually makes the game long-term successful.
The fact that there's an economy.
The fact that the economy can be broken and you don't have to deal with all the bullshit like grinding and farming.
That's true. Removing the bullshit. Fair enough. We just that's gonna have to be
We solved
bleeped.
the world's problems.
All right, and last but not least, this article is talking about how DLC is being disappointing. But really, the only reason I wanted to pop this up is because of this little comic. I can't talk. Yes, page 2 of his resume is a $5 DLC, and he goes, "Welcome aboard." And what do you know? It's EA. I thought that was hilarious.
A pretty sharp commentary in 4 panes. that is 4 panes of sharp wit there.
Anyway,
So, do you have a season pass for any of your games?
no. All my friends always get the season passes to things like Borderlands and
The season pass says, instead of giving us $5 for this thing, give us 20 for these unnamed things that may come out between now and then.
now in the next 5 years.
Now
It's
and
an
whenever,
investment, yeah.
right? So, I just wonder, like, sort of, I understand the idea that if I only pay $20 more, I'll get anything that ever comes out for this game. But what if it doesn't?
Yeah,
And I mean,
it's
that's
kind of
the
a
point.
bet.
It's like, it says, you know, without any true promise of good content or upcoming release. I mean, let's be fair. A lot of us wait till all the DLC gets packaged up and then buy the
Buy it
game all at once at a discount. So if the season pass is a discount, I guess it kind of makes sense. But why
wouldn't you just wait for it to be
I
bundled
don't know. Like,
later?
yeah, I mean, like the numbers don't seem to support the idea that you're gonna prepay for all this stuff coming out
Yeah.
because they're not big enough for most DLCs to seem to warrant it.
Yeah, but they all do it, so I mean, we'll see what happens with it. I've heard about Battlefield, whatever the current Battlefield is. I've heard that the people who bought the original game and did the season pass have been screwed over by I guess it was EA, that they are now selling the full package that they paid $90 for. They're selling the whole package for $50 now and not giving any discount to the people who paid up front the ridiculous amount that it was.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
eventually the prices change on things. So, I mean, you can make the same thing. I paid full retail for a game, and then now it's on sale. I mean, the prices change. I don't know. It doesn't seem like you get enough of a discount off of Season Pass, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Anyway, I guess that has been this week on GameSkinny. Thanks for hanging out. See ya.